I know you. You know you. And I know that you know that I know you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xaereth Prevails. Folks, today I want to talk about which characters need the most speed. We don't have an unlimited supply of speed mods unless we... there's a couple really good players out there who have spent a ridiculous amount on trying to make sure that their characters are the fastest, and there's only been a few times that I felt completely overwhelmed by someone else who has speed mods. So I do think that there's a lot to be said about finding the right characters to put the right speed mods on. And so we're going to talk today, I think I have a list of like 15 approximately characters that you should at least consider putting really good speed mods on. Like, we don't have an unlimited number of speed mods, but we can prioritize in order to kind of make sure that that works out for you. So let's go to the game and find out what Xaereth's advice on the matter is. Whoa, how'd we get here? Madness. Okay, we've got, to start off, folks, Piet. Piet is a character that you need 6E mods on him anyways if you're going to have Executor, because you need to go as fast as your opponent's Executor. Don't want to get behind in that match. But beyond that, folks, he needs to be fast. He needs to be really fast because of his status on an Imperial Trooper squad. He is the fastest base speed on that squad, and therefore you want him to be the fastest. Now, 339 is good. Veers gives him another plus 20. I'm not saying you need to have this level of speed on Piet, but this is a character that really not likes it, because as long as he goes first, then you can get everyone else to be fairly fast. Now, you can do the same thing with Stark if you don't have Piet for some reason, but really you should just get Piet. And Stark can do it. He's just not quite as fast with his base speed, so you're not going to be quite as efficient. It can work with him, but why? Like, Piet wants to go first anyway, so we can put the mark on, or I guess it's a mark on Dark Trooper, so definitely want to get him fast if you can. Now, Cat is one that I'm just not sure about, folks. I like having her to be able to do damage. Now, this is kind of a worthless set on her. I have a crit damage set, and if she's always doing the mirror, she's not crit-ing very often against like Jedi Master Kenobi teams. But the thing that's nice about this set is you can put her with other teams, and she does well against other teams pretty well. Anyways, the thing about her, though, if you want to do the mirror match, there is a way to make it so that if you have the faster Cat, you can actually just jump in and realize this isn't the fastest. Like, you want her to be like 370 something. Typically, if you want to go this route, the like really high speed route, you can, because she's one of the fastest. She might be the fastest character in the game currently, at least at base speed. So she can be your fastest character. She can be the fastest out there if you put enough mods on her. But the way it works is she's going to she can swap turn meter with R2-D2, who can then put smoke on everyone but Kenobi, and then their Cat will waste their hit on your Kenobi, like their annihilate hit, and then your Cat will go and be able to annihilate their Kenobi, and then you fight 5 versus 4, and you can get pretty good banners if it's GAC. Or Territory Wars, it's even more important, because you want to get those ninja banners. Getting a 19 versus a 20 doesn't seem like much, but it sure does add up over time. So if you really want to be efficient as a guild, trying this method works, and that only works if you have a fast Ahsoka. Now, I don't do this really. She's got really fast mods. I should probably put offense on her, frankly, but crit damage, it's just hard to find the right mods, and I'm lazy. So let's move on, shall we? So we've got Bosk here, and Bosk obviously is a bounty hunter. You want him to mostly have 6E mods, just because his ship is really strong. And the reason you want him to be fast, though, folks, is he can be pretty quick anyways. He has a pretty decent base speed, but as you can see, he's not my Bosk right now isn't ruinously fast. I did have him up to, you know, in the 330s range. I think you can get him into the 340s range if you really want to be insane. But the reason you want that, folks, is he wants to go first on his team, because what he'll end up doing, he'll taunt. When he taunts, he gains Frenzy. So gains Frenzy and Taunt, and then whenever another bounty hunter goes, you typically want a fast second bounty hunter. Usually it's going to be Grief. They're going to use a special, and what Frenzy does is gives Bosk 100% bonus turn meter. So he'll immediately get another turn, and he'll be able to call his Mass Assist, and it gets the bounty hunters really rolling. So very worthwhile character to have speed on. And usually, though, it does imply that you want another bounty hunter to have nearly ruinous speed as well. Like, you want them to have one speed slower than him. So 323 here. You want Grief to be like 322. Right around and move along. Next up, Darth Revan used to be up in the air. Who do you want to get killed by? Darth Vader, or do you want to get killed by troopers? Now, Darth Revan can only be killed by troopers. Darth Vader, well, Vader can if they have the right set. If they've really, really done their research and really work hard at it, Vader can still counter this comp. And honestly, if you're making Revan fast, it does make it easier for Vader. But the fact is, most people aren't going to go through the trouble of modding their Vader the way that they want, that they need to, in order to take out Revan. And a lot of people at the top end are going to be putting Darth Vader with Lord Vader if they have him. So Darth Revan wants to be fast again, folks. 340s if you can swing it. I realize not everyone has crazy speed mods. I've been working on my mods for 5 years. This is a result of me consistently working on mods for 5 years. And so don't worry if you've only been doing it for a couple years. You're not going to have as many great speed mods. This isn't a transcendent speed. My alt actually have 7 speed faster than this on his Darth Revan. So you can definitely get him faster. 345, 340s is generally going to be good. Now, if you want to stop being countered by Nest, by troopers, you probably need to add a Nest or something else to the team, but you also want him to be fast so that other teams like Jedi can't outrun him and take him out. Grand Admiral Thrawn is one that I keep wondering what I should do with him. So Thrawn is great if he's fast. I don't have him super fast right now. I used to have him at like 340 something, and the couple times that he got to go first, like the couple times that I needed him to go first, it was really cool. Like against a Darth Revan team, I've had a couple times where if you're facing a Darth Revan team and Thrawn is the fastest, you can just jump in and fracture whoever is the most dangerous on that team, and then you can just take the rest of them out while that person just watches in abject terror as Thrawn just holds his arms behind his back and keeps him out of the fight. So it can be very helpful, extremely helpful to have him go first. A lot of times, though, you don't need him to go first because you have other mechanics in play. So, whereas he is a character to mention as wanting to be fast, you do want some speed on him. I more added him to this list to make sure you guys understood. It's nice to have him fast, but unless you have a specific reason for it, a lot of times his speed just kind of goes to waste. And honestly, ever since I decreased his speed from the 340s down to the 299 on him right now, I haven't really noticed that much of a change in my output. Like, he still does what he needs to do because he fits into my schemes pretty well and doesn't really need to be super fast. Now 300 is about as slow as I'm probably willing to put him, at least on my main account, but he can benefit from some speed. Not the most speed ever though. All right, let's get to the next tier, folks. Han Solo is a character that can take 5 shots in a row if you have him modded right, because he takes his bonus turn. He shoots first, he takes a bonus turn. That doesn't have anything to do with when he takes his next turn. And so if you make him fast, especially if you have some kind of turn meter gain mechanic for him, if you make him fast, I'm looking at tenacity for some stupid reason, and granted, now the secret's out. I've faced several people recently with a little bit faster Han Solo than me, but if you make him fast, then what'll end up happening is he'll shrug at you, and he'll be able to shoot twice as part of his his initial shot. Now, if Chewie's on the team, which usually is, then Chewie gets to shoot and does 2 different types of damage as well, the percent health and the actual physical damage. And then Han, if he's the fastest, he will go next on the team, and he'll be able to take his big shot with Deadeye. If he does Deadeye, then he gains turn meter equal to Han's critical chance, and his crit chance is always going to be over 100, almost always, especially because his unique gives him extra. A lot of times leaderships with him give him extra, so he'll shoot twice, Chewie'll shoot, he'll shoot once with Deadeye, Chewie'll shoot, and then he'll shoot 2 more times with Quick Draw, his basic, and oh, you guys can't even see the silly Zareth. Let's whoa, I'm on the bottom now. Madness. Okay, so now he's able to, you guys can see, he can use Deadeye, then he can use Quick Draw. So he's going to get 5 shots. Chewie will get 3, and I guess Chupio, if he's on the team, gets another 3. So that's a huge amount of output just by making him fast. Now, I mean, Commander Luke can go next or whatever, but it's nice to have him pretty dang quick, especially in 3v3. He puts out some crazy amounts of damage if he's fast, especially with Wedge lead. Look it up. It's nice. Quill is another one that you want to be fast. Obviously, this is a list of what characters want to be fast. Now, the reason you want him to be quick, and I've been upping his speed, the 322, not quite where we want it. A lot of times, the golden standard, and I realize it seems ridiculous, you want him at 340, at least in the top tiers, because 340 means you're going to outspeed most bounty hunter teams. If you're not, like this would outspeed my bounty hunter team by a little bit. That would mean I'd need to use Grief in order to keep up, and then Grief means you drop banners against this team, etc. But, you know, 340 is nice. You don't really need that speed, honestly, but the awesome thing about it is, guys, it makes the rest of his team really fast. So, let's see, is this the right one? Yeah, it's a special. There's just a lot of things going on. So the thing that we're looking at right now specifically is where I'm pointing with my mouse. Scoundrel allies gain 25% turn meter when he uses this. So that means that usually if he's 322 speed, he's going to outspeed the rest of the team, and on offense, that's nice. On defense, that's also nice in 5v5, and so he'll go first. He'll give his whole team 25% turn meter, which is enough to get Bando a turn, almost certainly, because it'll bridge. 25% is a lot. It'll bridge that speed gap. If Bando goes next, then the rest of the team goes right after Bando. It can be really nice. You can get all your whistling birds, and for the most part, as long as you can survive a small barrage from your opponent, your Bando's going to take them to the cleaners. It seems like you should take him and his friends to the cleaners as well. So, because they're all kind of gross and grime encrusted. Kylo is an interesting one. I don't know if you want to overinvest in speed. I haven't really. You know, he's kind of, 273 is not that fast, frankly, but the nice thing is, folks, if you can make him super fast and you can go first, I mean, I think I had him a little faster even than this, but the awesome thing, folks, if you put Crew with him, Crew is going to give him plus 30 speed. Crew lead, I should say. So Crew will give him another 30 speed, and then he'll be over 300. If he goes first, he can do his lash out ability, and his entire team gains 50% turn meter, usually, because they'll all start with advantage, and they'll all be first order teams. Characters, and if they all gain, even if they only gain 25%, usually that's enough for the whole team to go first. And then if he does his lash out and if he has advantage, he's going to gain 50%. He's going to be going pretty soon as well. It turns into a fiasco for your opponent, basically. So a really fast Crew, really nice. I don't know, it's a pretty big luxury that I don't even take advantage of, to be honest. Moff Gideon is probably the character you want to be the fastest on your roster a lot of times, because he is so plug and play. He can just go on any team and essentially make sure that your entire team goes first. I use him a lot with bounty hunters, because if I can't outspeed, all I have to do is have a fast Gideon, and then Bosk and Grief don't have to be nearly as fast, because Gideon will he'll reduce everyone's turn meter, but then he'll give 25% turn meter to the rest of his team. And when that happens, then then usually your characters who are normally slower than the characters they're trying to oppose will suddenly be faster than them. And then Bosk can go, he does the same thing I was talking about, where he taunts and gains frenzy. Then Grief will go, call the assists. Bosk will go, call more assists because of frenzy, etc. You know, that works with bounty hunters. It also works with, like, you could use it for a Bando team. If you didn't have a fast enough Quill, you could do that. You could use it on any number of teams. He's actually surprisingly good with Padme, for instance, because Padme won't drop, they won't lose their turn meter. So he'll go and reduce your enemy's turn meter. It won't even reduce your teammate's turn meter. And then Padme will, you know, the entire team will go right after that. So, I mean, that's pretty neat. And then you can also add him to a team with Vader, who also cannot lose turn meter. So, lots of different applications for Gideon. Pretty neat stuff, in my opinion. One of the fastest characters you want. So, you can see mine is a 377. I think I could make him a tiny bit faster, not much. But 377, I mean, again, this is a pretty preposterous speed if you're first starting, but something to aim for, right, folks? Echo is one of the fastest characters. They keep making extremely fast characters lately. You don't need him quite as fast, but you do want him to go first, usually, because what he'll end up doing, if he starts, it's very nice, actually, because he does all this crazy stuff. So he dispels all buffs, including Foresight, so all buffs on all enemies, and then it inflicts daze and healing immunity. And unless they're immune to one of those two, unless they're immune to one of them, or whatever, then those will just be applied automatically. They can't resist it. That doesn't say it on his kit, but they can't resist it. And then when he dispels buffs with it, if he goes first, then the rest of the clone troopers are going to gain 5% turn meter and, you know, plus offense, whatever. But the plus turn meter, he also makes the rest of his team faster. So Echo, as one of the fastest characters that you have, if you have a full Bad Batch team, absolutely take a look. So 349 here is, you know, it's fine. It's pretty decent. It's obviously he's not as fast as Gideon, but he wanted to be pretty quick so that he's going to outrun most teams. Next up is not Han Solo. Let's look at the third tier, folks. We're going to fly through these, I think. So we've got Rex. Rex, you want him fast specifically to make it so that bounty hunters can't beat him. My Rex is not fast enough. He needs to be 310, 315 if possible, which is crazy, but do it. The thing is, he's going to gain 20% turn meter from his unique if he's with the 501st, and when he does that, that makes him unreachable even by super speeded Gideon. Next is BB-8. BB-8 gains 16% turn meter at the start of his turn, assuming the R2-D2 is with him, and so you can make him plus. Mine is not super duper fast, but 314, if you give him another 16% turn meter, that's going to make it put him out of reach for the majority of teams. Now, if you were to make him 330 or more, that puts him out of reach of even like Gideon and the like, and then there stops being very many counters to Jedi training raid teams. You can start using like Commander Luke or better, you know, Galactic Legend, and it can turn into a huge mess. Night Sister Zombie is a weird one to suggest because Night Sisters are kind of weird in general. But the one that you want to keep in mind here, folks, is, let's see, is it Endless Horde? Yeah, so if she gains 50% speed per stack, and so once she gains 2 stacks, and you guys will have to look it up how that works, when she gains enough stacks, she is going to get to be 100% faster. So right now she's 219. Clearly I haven't followed my own precepts, but just something to be thinking about, especially mid-game, folks. So she's going to be plus 30 speed for Asajj and Talzin lead, and then she's going to be from there. So this is already basically 250. She'll be 500 speed once you boost her a couple times. So it can get a little bit ridiculous. She starts staunting every time she takes a turn. 500 speed is obnoxious as hell, even with a pretty slow zombie. Now, Resistance Hero Finn, obviously he wants to go first because he's going to be shooting. Poe is going to, he'll hand the turn to Poe. Poe will shoot, and then Hero Finn will go again. He gets, having that passive, or that passing turn meter, swapping turn meter, is just really strong for him. Now remember, if he's on a Jedi Training Rey team, this actually isn't that good, because Jedi Training Rey will end up just like the mechanics of the team with BB-8 gaining, you know, percent turn meter, and then R2 will gain percent turn meter. Jedi Training Rey will gain turn meter. Even with 340 speed, he'll only go 4th on the team, so it's kind of wasted speed. That's why mine isn't super fast. This is fast-ish, it's fast enough, but even with this speed, he'll go 4th on the team because the droids and Rey will go, and a lot of times Rey will go twice before he goes. So something to keep in mind, you don't need him super speeded unless you want him on a Rey team. Armor is the last one up, and Armor has 2 reasons to be fast. Number 1, if she's with Sith Eternal, a lot of times she wants to outspeed. She wants to outspeed all of the characters that are with Rey. Now, a lot of times that's not possible, but if you can make her pretty quick, now 338, that's fine. The thing is, that will only outspeed a Finn that's like 307 speed or something, which is really easy to get at the top level at least. So, I mean, she's not typically going to outspeed a Finn, but if you can do it, that's great. The other reason is if she's on a Maul team, or on any Mandalorian team for that matter, as long as she outspeeds the enemy, you can start getting a lot of turn meter as long as you get the first turn, and she calls everyone to assist with her armor shred ability. And so you want her to go first. That way she can also start gaining turn meter to be able to apply that 3rd stack of Beskar that you've gained by doing the mass assist from the armor shred. And so she likes to be fast. I'm trying to make her fast just so that the Maul team is going to work, and then once Maul goes, once Armor goes, then that's going to drag Canderous into it, getting all of his bonus turn meter from shooting, basics, etc., and it gets crazy. So that's the list, folks. Let me know what I missed, what characters should be faster, be respectful, be kind to one another. I love you all. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Zereth prevails.